Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Money G. Guess what? It is time to do a horror tag video. Yes, haven't done none of this in a very long time. This is called the top five horror movies of 1980s tag. Yes. Now, I was tagged, I think it was a couple days ago, maybe a few days ago, by my friend Foolmoon, who decided to do this interesting tag. Now, this tag is not talking about any horror films from the 80s, just particular horror films that were released in the year 1980. Now, obviously, there were a lot of good horror films that came out during 1980, but knowing me, there's going to be a few that I believe get missed out. So, this is my top five horror films from 1980. So coming in at number five, very good one. It is called Blood Beach. Now, after all the Jaws craze that came out during 1979, this little nice film had an interesting tagline in it. But it says, just when you thought it was safe to get back into the water, you can't get to it. The simple premise was there is this uh, beach town somewhere in California, and anyone near the beach were getting scooped up and swallowed up by some creature. The film starred John Saxon and Burt Ward. They were cops. They were investigating this police. And it was an interesting film. I truly loved it. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. So coming in at number five, it is Blood Beach. Coming in at number four, it is another good film that came out during 1980s, Motel Hell. This one also had another interesting tagline. There's all types of critters from Uncle that make like Farmer Vincent's critters. Now, this particular film, which has kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes on it, it follows a farmer, butcher, and hotel manager, and meet entrepreneur Vincent Smith, who traps travelers and harvests them for his human sausages. So that's basically what it is. He and his sister, I forget the sister's name. I believe her name is Ida Smith, if I'm not mistaken. I think her name was Ida Smith. They would capture unsuspecting humans at their hotel, basically just subjugate them, probably rip out their vocal cords, put them in their garden, and use them for his sausages, which were called fritters at the time. Very interesting horror movie. The guy would also wear a pig's mask on his head with a chainsaw on it, so that's where the Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes into place. Very interesting horror comedy. I always did enjoy it. So coming in at number four, it is Motel Hell. Coming in at number three, another one of my favorites from 1980, Humanoids from the Deep. Somehow this mutant hybrid of aquatic sea creatures decided that, you know what, it's time to make our presence felt. So they go on to the land and they start attacking women because for some reason they decided to mate. And that's basically what this film was about. This seaside town somewhere in California. I think it was in California. I might be wrong. But all of a sudden, these mutant creatures come out, start attacking women. They don't know what's going on. There's an interesting scene that happens towards the third act of the film. And unfortunately, we all know what happens toward the ending scene in this particular film. But it's an interesting film. Roger Corman, who didn't direct it, but I think he has an uncredited credit as a producer on this film. But this is the type of film that he would make, especially during the 80s. So coming in at number three is Humanoids from the Deep. Coming in at number two is the 1980 version of Maniac. Yes, this film starred I think Frank Zito, was directed by Wim Lustig, about an American serial killer who murders and scalps young women. He also had this wild and crazy hallucination about some of the women that he scalped would come back to life. And there's this real terrific scene towards the third act of the film where all the women he's killed get their revenge. Very interesting film. Tom Savini, he has a credited role where he plays one of the victims. That's one of the interesting aspects of this film. Obviously, know that they remake this film where they had Elijah Wood play the role of the maniac in that one, and he actually was pretty good too. I like that filming style that they used, where they used the actual perspective of the killer's view of what he was seeing, which I thought was a decent way. But yeah, very interesting horror film that came out in 2080. So coming in at number two is Maniac. And of course, it be no surprise that the number one horror film on my list is, of course, the original Friday the 13th. They're doomed. You're all doomed. Yes, the slasher film that probably started it off. Most people will say Halloween started off, but I believe the slasher craze did not start until Friday the 13th came out, right around, I believe, June 13th of 1980. Yes, that's the exact date that it came out. That's when the slasher crazes went all over the place. You couldn't have summer go by or any type of the month go by without a slasher film coming out. Obviously, obviously, you had the late great Betsy Palmer's in this particular one. Kevin Bacon made his, I believe that was his first film in this film, which he doesn't acknowledge. But hey, you got to start somewhere. Some great practical effects by Tom Savini once again. You can't, and there's of course, as we always know, Jason was not in this one. He was not the killer. It was his mommy, Mrs. Voorhees. Yeah, but coming in at number one is, of course, Friday the 13th. So there you have it. Those are my top five horror films in 1980. And like I said before, I wanted to once again thank Foolmoon for tagging me. I know a lot of people have already done this particular film. So if you haven't done it, picture yourself being tagged by me, the horror miser Monty G. Just make sure you do give Foolmoon the credit because this is his tag. Well, there you have it. That's my video for the day, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please like and share. And also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put up new videos such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember that horror rules. I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.